Good evening, good evening, good evening. Friday the 30th. Actually, is it the 30th? Yeah, Friday the 30th of May. It's the best day of the week. It's the 10 o'clock Friday show with me, Mr. B, as usual, joined by Cole. How you doing, Cole?
Not bad, thank you. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Brush, long time no see. How
Big
you
up,
doing,
Mr.
big man?
B. What are you saying, bro?
I'm good, man. I was hoping it would have been better circumstances when I got you back on the show, but look, it is.
I mean, it is better circumstances. The season's finished, isn't it?
Actually, you know what? It's true. Zico, good day. Long time no see, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, cool, very good.
I'm good, man. Let me just say a couple of howdies. Let me take that bloody thing off there for a start. And we'll go with Stephanie. I think you already know my answer on help or hindrance, Bruno. Delighted for ex-Arsenal rejects, especially Chido needed these goals. We got a big up from I Am Titanium. We also got a big up from the boss in the house. I hope you're doing well. Chat Sports, big up, man. Fun. I hope you're doing well, man. Danny B. Anyone? Ooh, okay. Thank you very much. I'm not going to say your name, but well done. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. You're trying to hit free. Oh yeah. While you're on there, yeah. Show some love. What do we start with today? Obviously, you know what? I haven't spoken to you about the end of the season and how bad it was, Kunde. Do you know what? Yeah, let me give you a couple of minutes. Was it a shock to you how much of a failure it has been? Are you positive for next season? That's to you as well, Colm, and to you, Brush, before we go any further.
Well, Mr. B, do you remember what I was saying about Amarin?
Yes.
Yeah, I said he's not the right guy for us. It's the wrong philosophy, wrong formation. It's not going to work. And I said to my brother, I said to our Monday, I saw him in the gym. He was there just randomly one day. I just couldn't believe it. So we were talking, and I said that I'm a Man United supporter, but in a way, it sounds bad. I hope we lose the final, so Amarin gets sacked. Because I don't see any positive about him staying on. I don't see it getting any better. And then he's all defending him, saying, "No, he'll make it work." All this, and that final was appalling. Really, really poor. Really poor. It's not just for me. It's not just about the formations not working, and I could tell that the players are not on board with the formation either. But it's just when I look at the lineup, it's always different, and it's always like he's experimenting. He doesn't really know where to place these players. Like, if you're going to play that formation, you've got to have a specialist for each position. You've got to have your wing backs. You've got to have your, a CDM or a cam. But he's experimenting. He's playing Bruno further forward and he's bringing him back. Sometimes he's playing Ahmed behind the striker. Sometimes he's playing as a wing back. And it's like, now he tried to bring Mount in towards the end of the season. So it's like, you can't be experimenting like that. If you're going to do it, have the specialist in every position to try and make it work.
No transfer window, though.
Nah, I know. I just know it's not going to work. It's not going to work under him. I know he hasn't had a transfer window. But to me, it's like he's not even putting their players in the right positions when he's got the players there to do it. He's just like he's experimenting. He's just trying to see, all right, let me see if this works. And it's like for the final, Mount starting. Mount hasn't played all season. It's just, I can't see it getting any better. And I get it, like, to the fact that he's had successful with that formation with Sporting. But if you're a good manager, you have to adapt to the players that you have. And he's not adapting to the players that we have. The players, it doesn't work for this formation. You see Xabi Alonso already. He's become Real Madrid manager. He's been playing 3-5-2 with Leverkusen. He had a lot of success. They went unbeaten the season before last, right? He's already said that, it's likely that he won't be playing a 3-5-2 at Real Madrid because he says it's different players, different systems. It won't work. So that signs a good manager. He's just, playing to the player's strengths.
Okay, fair enough. Brush, talk to me.
For me, this one's more on Ineos because obviously Amram said that he would prefer to come at the end of the season, but we, gave him an ultimatum. And surely during the interview process, he would have put forward his idea and what he wanted to do. He's obviously stuck to it, even though he hasn't got the tools. So it's a case of square peg, round holes, and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have doubts in his inability to change things around. I've given him a bit of leeway this season just because it's not his set of players, and he does need a window at least to get it together. But I'll be lying if I didn't say I had doubts. But yeah, I think I'll judge more on that next season. If this time next year we're in a similar position, then we can talk in it. But for the time being, I'm willing to just see where this leads.
Colm.
I think me and Brush are very similar. He's been here 6-7 months. He's had no players brought in from apart from a left back. You've got to give him time to implement, and like what Zico was saying, I understand. You have to change your system to suit the players, but why can't the players learn the new system instead? Look at all the times we've had managers come in and they reverted back to what the players wanted to play, and they've still not performed. It's not all on the manager. The players don't have the IQ to be able to play football. We've seen this all season. And I don't really want to talk about the European final because it was the worst thing I've seen since the final season of Game of Thrones. So,
Can I just say that? All right. There's been an issue with Man United players underperforming, but never this bad. Like, look, Amrin's record since he's come in, the amount of games that he's lost and the teams that he's lost to, and this is our worst ever finish, right? Even Ten Hag got in the top 4 the first season, won a cup. Second season, won a cup. Mourinho won 2 cups. Solskjaer, Ollie, we had success with him finishing second, top 4. We played some good football. We can't see any with Amrin. It's really bad. Like, we can't even see any. There's not even any exciting football. There's not anything, any hope to say, actually, this could be good here. I can't see it at the moment. There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
You don't blame it on the fact that we had no striker and no goalie for the whole of the season.
What do you mean, no goalie?
I'm sorry, if you call Onana a goalie, just walk away.
You get into Manchester Champions League final.
As I said, no goalie and no striker for the whole of the season.
Well, listen, it's like I said, if I could put Højlund and Xerxes into one player, it'd be the perfect striker.
Well, no, it wouldn't, because there'd be no traits that -9 would give Xerxes to make him a better player. Not one.
That's what I'm saying. It's frustrating with both of them, because it's like if I could just put them together, their qualities together, it would be a good striker.
And even then, the goals wouldn't be tallying up, though.
Yeah, but to me, it's still no excuse, because I don't think if Ten Hag was still in charge, we wouldn't have finished that low in the table.
We would have been relegated.
We would have been relegated, bro. They would.
It was on a downward trajectory anyway, though, wasn't it, bro?
Yeah.
For me, with Ten Hag, it was that game against Spurs.
His recruitment wasn't good. His recruitment wasn't good. I mean,
yeah.
I said we should have sacked Ten Hag after the FA Cup final and got Poch. I said it at the time.
Oh, Poch, bloody, you and the bloody Poch.
No, because he would have been perfect for us.
No, he wouldn't have been perfect for us.
Because I think he's got the right philosophy. He's good with young players. We
don't need all these young players. Young players don't win nothing. A team full of young players don't win nothing.
No, but you have to know how to nurture these young players and get the best out of them. And that's what Poch did. Look, he even got the best out of what's his name? He's on the downhill, Dele Alli. He got the best football out of him. Since Dele Alli hasn't been under Poch, he hasn't played good football. I think.
So you're gonna blame Poch for that? Dele Alli's head was all over the place.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not just about picking the team. I'm saying man management skills. I think that's what Poch has got. like players like Sancho who need arm around him, all these guys. I'm
Got
not,
the,
I'm
these,
not trying to listen. I'm not
okay,
trying to defend these guys
okay,
for
good.
their
Okay,
action.
good. Okay.
I'm saying for what we've got, he would have been perfect to get the best out of them. That's what I'm saying. But
Okay.
that's why we should have sacked Ten Hag. It would have been harsh, like another Van Gaal situation, but we needed to do that at that time.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Lucky Singh, long time no see, brother. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Okay, well, you're ready for him to get the sack. It's good that you haven't flip flopped, you haven't changed, you haven't diverted. Obviously,
I've got no enthusiasm about watching United anymore. Like I can't. It's hard. It's really hard for me.
it's been listen. It's been a hard work. It's been a hard watch for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what can we do, man? And things just seem to be going from bad to worse, depending on what side of the fence you get, you fall on. Hopefully, there's going to be no splinters in this one. Bruno, I'm a Bruno fan. I think Bruno's fantastic. Yes, he gives the ball away and he flaps his arms around, but without him, I have no idea what sort of mess we would have been. I know somebody else would have played in the Bruno's role, and maybe things would have picked up. But as I said, when you've got the front and the back how they are in our team, you have no confidence. You play in the team, Kohunde. Colm, I know you're a goalkeeper. It's not a fun position to be in, being a goalkeeper. But when you've got your team who have no faith in your ability, this isn't directed at you. No faith in your ability, or you've got a forward who's a bent foot like Solo, then you're in trouble. So I'm worried he's gonna go. I'm worried Bruno's gonna go. I'll put it out there now. Directly after the cup final, I said, sell him, let him go. The team can do better, but I'm not sure we can. And I'm not sure. 100 million, I get it. I get all of that. I understand it. I'm slowly beginning to understand it. But Colm, guys in the chat, Bruno time. What's your thoughts on this? On Bruno leaving, and what's your preference, Cole?
Look, Bruno's been a loyal servant. He's dragged us through absolute garbage when we've needed him. My issue with Bruno is he is so undisciplined, and that is because he doesn't trust the players around him. He's playing left back, he's playing centre back, he's playing CDM, and he's up front and he's on wing. But that's because he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't trust anybody. He's 30 years old. I'd get rid of him now. Take the 100 mil, because we're never going to get this money again.
Mm.
And the only reason I'm saying that is we've signed Cunha. We can't play Cunha and Bruno together. If you watch how they play, they're very similar, and they're just going to get in each other's way. This 100 mil can go out and get us a striker. Victor Gyökeres, for instance, we go get him if we want to with this money. We can get a goalkeeper. We can go get a defensive midfielder to replace Casemiro when he goes. I know there's a lot of work to do, and yes, I would love to have Bruno there whilst we're able to rebuild the squad, but let's be realistic here. We're not going to be able to rebuild unless he goes.
Anybody disagreeing?
No, I'm with Cole on this one. For me, he's a very important player. In real dark times, he's been one of the few that stepped up and done the business, But he's 31 in September. From a business perspective, this makes a lot of sense. If we get a ridiculous offer in excess of 100 million, I don't know how we can turn it down, especially considering we missed out on Europe. So it could be a necessary sacrifice in order to rebuild properly going forward.
Talk to me, Kohunde.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both. He's been a really good player for us, and it's just unfortunate that the time that he's come, because I think he's a good player. If you put him in Man City's team or any one other team in the top four, he'd be shining even more. And his stats are really good. Sometimes I feel like he's like 70% a good player, like 30% luck. You know, sometimes he just pulls things out of the bag. And I think, does he mean to do that? But now would be a good time to get rid of him and rebuild the squad, I feel. But I feel like with him, maybe he doesn't want to go yet because I feel he's ambitious. He still wants to play in Europe. He probably feels he's a bit too young.
Money talks, though, bro. That's
I know, but
generational wealth. You know, like his great
thought,
grandkids don't have to lift a finger a day in their lives. I wouldn't blame him if he went.
But it's a World Cup year next year, and I think he wants to stay in the top league. I think he would want to stay, but I feel he should go. With the benefit of the club, he should go. But I feel that he's got a lot of heart. He's got a drive, ambition. I think he loves the club. And if he believes in the manager, he will stay. But I'll
tell you what, though, guys. If he does go, then I think our expectations for this transfer window changes. I think Cole mentioned it. If he goes, you need to get one of the victors in. We need a striker, a certified one, and not a project one. So if he goes, you know, we'll be looking at the market a little bit different.
Who can we get if we're not playing in Europe? This is a problem. Look at Delap. He rejected us already.
All right, one sec. Yeah. Before, just remember that because I'm going to forget that. I just want to go through some of these messages. Yeah. Danny B, bye-bye, Bruno. But we need that open heart surgery money. And he doesn't fit into Amarim's system either. Andrew, I do agree we should sell. I just got a feeling they're setting him up to stay and be the hero. There's no one player who can do everything that Bruno has. There's no one player who can do everything that Bruno has done at United. If he used the transfer money properly like we did with Coutinho, then that could be something. I mean, Arsenal cashed in as well. All right, slightly different scenario, getting bad eggs, but I'm getting rid of bad eggs, but they cashed in as well. So maybe, Mr. B, you keep saying sell some of these players because they don't fit into the system. Bruno doesn't fit into the system. Why are we keeping him? Richard Harris, I agree, Mr. B, but we can't be reliant on one player. I'm not sure he suits Amarim's system. If I was Bruno, I would take the money. United have spent the Bruno money on Cunha.
No, it's 20 million this season. That's how much we've paid.
Okay. It's up to Bruno. Don't care whether we stay or it doesn't. This is from Lucky Singh. Doesn't care whether he stays or goes. From Bart. Where are we? 100 million can get either a few potential stars or a couple of top class talents. From Stephanie. Funny all the rivals want Bruno to stay at United to mean that they know we will improve without him. Okay. Sorry. What did you say in there?
I was just saying about us not being in Europe might affect our transfer targets.
Yeah, and who we could potentially get. So one or two interesting comments there as well. I do think if we sacrifice Bruno, I don't think you can get a like for like in terms of the numbers in just one player. I think if we were to cash in, you'd have to be a bit wise with the money, bring in 2 or 3 who would improve the team as a whole. And that's how we move forward. Obviously, they need to do their due diligence and scouting and all of that stuff as well. I know the budget's a bit tight and whatnot. This is where, it's all going to come in clutch. It's going to have to be a mixture. It can't just be all young and upcoming talents that we can develop. So you need to strike that right balance with getting a bit of experience in there. Gyökeres, I know, is it's hot topic at the moment. So I think there's an opportunity there, even without Europe.
With Gyökeres, you think there's an opportunity, yeah?
I think there's an opportunity, yeah, because of the connection with Amarim, the fact that he's played for him.
I see Kohunde shaking his head.
You can sell him on a project.
Nothing.
Listen, if we got in the Champions League, if we won that Europa League and got in the Champions League, then But I just think, why do you want to leave where he is? Is that team's going to be in the Champions League next season? We're not. And
this is where it comes in clutch, isn't it? Like, you're going to have to convince him that, listen, this is just a blip. and next season we're going to be fully focused without Europe on getting back to where we need to be, and he wants to make you the main man.
Everyone knows, like, the club's in absolute disaster at the moment. Like,
yeah, the club might be in a disaster at the moment, but this is what a lot of people like. I'm not saying we're going to get Gyökeres. I think we have a chance still, regardless of us not being in Europe, because of obviously Amorim's links, but also imagine the amount of ego he'll have if he can say, I'm the guy they signed and I turned Manchester United's fortunes around because of my goals. Players have such an ego and they want to be fed constantly.
yeah, but his ego would be to play European football. He got scoring in Champions League.
I don't think he's
Of course, it
too
depends
much.
at the end of the day who comes in for him, right? So I think in the Premier League, my fear is probably that Chelsea will be in a position to go get him as well.
What, and
And
have
Liam
three
Delap will just
strikers?
be a rotation option.
Nah, Rasmus goes.
I don't know. I mean, I get that. You know, Arsenal seem to be interested in Sesko. I get that.
Yeah. Benjamin Šeško seems to be their preference. I don't know why though, because they're probably closer to achieving success in the now. So you would think they would go for the finished article.
Striker, though. They're missing a prolific.
Yeah, but would you go for Sesko? I mean, I would rather go for Gyökeres out of the two. But obviously,
Sesko's younger, isn't he? And Gyökeres.
Yeah, Šeško is younger. He's the same age as Højlund, so he's a project striker. For what Arsenal are after, I'm a little bit surprised they're not going for experience.
I just so we're
For
saying,
us, it's definitely a hope and a prayer. It's more so just clutching at straws, hoping that the link to Amorim, gives us a little bit of leeway, a bit of favour.
What's your food? Hold on, one second, guys. I want to leave you lot to talk.
Right, what's Richard saying?
Yeah, so I'm just we won't see Cunha at the club until after the 1st of July. Then we are into next year's FFP. Like, even with Cunha, are you guys excited about that?
If I'm being totally honest, I think it's a little bit underwhelming. It's a hefty fee as well.
Exactly.
I know people talk about the release clause, but I think that's high end of his ceiling, that release clause fee. Very un-Brazilian like as well, but all the qualities that you see in him, it's not what you typically associate with a Brazilian. But we've not had the best of track records with
Brazilians, no.
But he's physically strong. He tracks back. He does those things, and he scores as well in it. So not as much as I would like, though. His goals do come in bunches. It's certainly better than what we have, but I don't know if it's worth it for the money, if I'm being totally honest.
Nah. See, I could already see with the recruitment already, if that's Amorim's first major signing, that's not it's not exciting. Like,
I think lessons would have been learned after Ten Hag, where surely the club take more responsibility for the recruitment, so it's not on the manager.
Well, I'm hearing that Rory Delatz was recommended by Jason Wilcox.
Yeah,
right.
Yep. It was obsessed.
That's the club kind of intervening with potential targets there.
Yeah, because we know that, we understand that it's a cutthroat business. Like, managers come and go. You can't just ask for all the players to be switched out every time we change manager, right? So there's got to be some continuity there.
I think really what messed Ten Hag up was his recruitment. It wasn't mainly, I don't think so much the football that he's playing, but after that FA Cup, we signed Højlund, Xerxes, and Ugarte. They just weren't right. So we've really got to get this recruitment right. We haven't.
They weren't right for who? I
mean, Højlund and Xerxes definitely not right for us.
Well, Xerxes, I still live in hope that he's going to do something. -9, I agree with. Ugarte, I think he might have a problem. Next season, he got dropped for the biggest game of the season and the last game of the season.
Amorim as well.
Yeah, but you got to remember, people say that, but Amorim sold him.
Yeah, also the season he was there, they didn't win the league. They won the league either side of him being there.
Yeah, that was the club. The board forced him to sell.
You think they forced him to sell?
Yeah,
you didn't just hear what Brush said. The one year that he was there, they didn't win the league. They won it the season before he was there and the season after he left.
It's an interesting little stat there, yeah. So,
look at PSG.
It's kind of difficult to gauge the sell, though, isn't it, guys? Because Portuguese clubs are always going to be selling clubs.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're always going to accept the big money offer for their talent.
That we sold to them from Fernandes, he's going to Real Madrid now. He's had one good season at Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
What is the price for that? Rebel put that in the. They got Rebel. And also, I can't say your name, Deliso. United. They want Ducarest, Kunli, Semedo, Wimbremo, Simmons, Emi Martinez, Edison. I tell you what, mate. If you can get half of that, you would have done a good job. I tell you would have done a good job. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought again. Rebel. Oh bloody hell! Oh God, it's gone. It'll come back. It's Friday. It'll come back. So I've cut you lot off talking, haven't I?
What do you guys think about Brian Mbeumo? I've heard links to him over the last week.
I think he's going to go Newcastle, but I would take him. Yeah. See, the thing is, if we're going to get rid of Bruno, what position did Bruno play in our team? Was he an 8 or was he a 10?
Well, when he first came, his best football came as a 10. But
under this system, what has he been playing at?
He's played as an 8, he's played as a 6, he's played as a 10. This is what I'm saying.
He's been a Swiss Army knife throughout his time, isn't it? He's always
so he can be replaced then. Because somebody in the chat said Cunha, we spent the Cunha money. I think that's the Garnacho
money.
He should be
replaced. Cameron should be replaced.
Well, look, he's not going anywhere. You may as well. I think you need to just
hold on to that.
You're going to have to hold on to that for at least another 6 months. Another 6 months.
Any other manager would have been sacked by now. I don't care. Like, what?
They wouldn't have been. They wouldn't have been. He, as Brush said, he told them that he didn't want him to come. He didn't want to come, and they forced him to come. So they have to hold the licks. They could have left. Rude Boy Van Nistelrooy in charge until the end of the season.
That would have been.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have done that if Ten Hag was going.
To be honest, when Ten Hag was under pressure, we were all thinking that's probably what's going to happen. We thought that if it did come to it and he got the sack, then Van Nistelrooy would be there for the rest of the season.
Situation where Van Nistelrooy would do good, and he's not that experienced guy. So
this is Rebel lagging to the argument. Bear in mind, Ruben cleared 25 players from Sporting in his first summer window because they weren't good enough. There is probably in order of 15 that fit that category for United. So you don't think history will be repeating itself here?
No. But this is another thing. I'm just thinking about this now because on Monday was trying to say this to me. We were having a debate at the gym. He was like, "Look at what he did at Sporting." I'm like, "Why is that a big achievement?" Like Sporting, Benfica, and Porto, they're the biggest clubs in Portugal. They always have a chance of winning the league.
Although before he went there, Sporting had gone.
No, they had gone a long time. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
winning the league.
But it's not like an achievement like Xabi Alonso has done at Leverkusen, where that was the first ever league title they've ever won, and they went unbeaten. It's not in that, category. And that's what I'm saying. Someone winning that Sporting, it's not. I don't think it's amazing because I think what did he do in the Champions League? Nothing.
But this is my
expected to do in the Champions League with Sporting.
This is the thing I had, right? Everyone got so hyper when we got Ten Hag, but what has he done?
What he did
when we had Ten Hag was like,
and I'll tell you what, he managed to beat Man City this season with Sporting in the Champions League.
Sorry, Ten Hag at Ajax, the football that he was playing, and when he beat Real Madrid 4-1 at the Bernabeu, that close to getting to the final with Real against Tottenham. That close. Yeah. So he had something that it was like, wow.
No, but this is what I'm saying though. We've seen something that Ten Hag did at another club in an easier league, and everyone lost the mind about it.
In the Champions League, he did.
Yeah, but we saw Amrin pick apart Manchester City, or one of the best teams for God knows how long now in the Champions League. So,
I don't really recall that game. I don't really remember it.
You don't remember Sporting beating Man City 4-1?
Gyökeres scored twice.
Was that? It was Amorim. Oh yeah, that was just before he came, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so there you go then.
They were undefeated as well until he left.
Yeah, but Man City have been off this season. I'm not.
There's always an excuse, isn't there? You don't want to give him a break.
You're not giving
been-
him no props at all, are you? Not one.
No, I'm not. Listen, man, you got to think. Like I said before, Liverpool interviewed him when Klopp announced he was leaving, and when he at the interview at Liverpool, he said, "Look, this is a system I'm playing. I'm sticking by it." And they said, "No, we don't play that system." And now they got someone who plays a similar system to Klopp, and they've won the league because they know that system wouldn't have worked for them. So what are these people behind in the directors? What are they thinking? It's not the philosophy of Man United to play that type of football. Why are they bringing this guy in?
I mean, the philosophy is whatever they say it as, right?
Exactly.
So, only time will tell.
If this philosophy, if he had come in and we were winning games, obviously, it's a big if. We were winning games in this system and this formation, then there wouldn't be it's because they're losing. Sometimes change is good. What you think they're going to play 4-4-2? They can't go back to 4-4-2. That's what we used to, but that's what we used to win. Nobody plays that anymore. You know what I mean? So I do feel he has to adapt, but don't adapt to going back to a 4, because the team were playing like a bunch of
we would do better.
A bunch of sods. No, they were a bunch of sods in playing in the 4 Cup. They weren't great. Under Ten Hag, were they good? They've been playing in 4s for years.
We won 2 cups. We had success. This guy is like losing home games to like teams that are like bottom half of the table. Like it's not. You can't see any positives in it. Like there's no. Look, even Garnacho is looking to leave because Ten Hag can't.
Garnacho. Oh, you're gonna sit down and back Garnacho? Don't.
No. Hear me out. Yeah. Garnacho, his profile, he's a Man United player in his profile. The way that he plays, he's an exciting winger. He takes players on. He can score amazing goals.
He's got amazing goaler. Amazing goaler.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, he's a Manchester United player in his profile, and he's come through the youth system and everything. Now, because this man just come in, we're getting rid of this guy who's got potential. Because of the system, he doesn't fit into the system that.
You don't think it's money?
No, it's nothing to do with money. It's the system that Amorim's playing. This is why this guy's career is going to be ruined under United because the system doesn't fit him. He can't play.
I see you rocking in your chair, man.
Yeah, I am rocking my chair a little bit, yeah, because I understand where he's coming from. The system doesn't suit him, and that is one of the reasons he's going. The other reason is because Garnacho is one of the most selfish players when he's on the ball. The amount of times he could have put a pass in, for an easy goal or attempt on shot, but what does he do? Head down, cuts in, and tries to score. And how many times has he not scored from doing that?
But saying that is true. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like a huge fan of Garnacho. I feel that he does need to work on his game a lot. But he has been like one of our better performers.
When he decides to turn up.
Yeah. But
better performance is what? In this trash?
Performers.
But then when Bruno is performing at a top level, you're still saying...
What I'm saying, him, Ahmad, as the attacking players, Garnacho is one of our better players. So, and with his age profile as well, we've got to take that into consideration. There's a lot of improvement to the potential there to be a really good player. So he's taken that away, a product. Look, I've just said it about Alvaro Fernandez. Why did we sell him? He's about to go to Real Madrid after one season at Benfica. We can't do stuff.
At least the structure of the deal is better than under Ed Woodward. We're going to get paid off of it.
This is not the Manchester United way. We don't sell young players.
What is the Manchester United way? Like over time, that changes, isn't it? Even under Fergie, that changed over time.
Yeah, but we've got to stick to a philosophy that's been successful for us. We
but in a bygone era, though, bro.
Yeah, we can't.
We're not going to end this because the reason why we're sitting here is because we remember why do we support Man United? Because of the way they played under Ferguson. It's because of the way that they played.
But managers come and go. We can't just stick to what Fergie was about.
No, I'm not saying every manager has to play like Ferguson does. But I'm saying that we've got an ethos about our club, the way that we play, right? So, and that's why we supported them. I'm sure, I don't know how old you guys, but I've been watching them since the mid-90s. I don't know, maybe Mr. B before then, but you know, we've got a type of ethos. We've got to stick with that. We had
No, you don't. The West Ham way nearly get them relegated, bruv. We need to adapt. We need to adapt. You can't just stick to the ethos. Oh, we're going to play this person because he's a winger. Garnacho is one of the most, as I said, he's one of the most selfish players. I look at Cunha replacing Garnacho and being in the system that he's playing in. Just think of the times where you think Garnacho should have passed or Garnacho should have finished, and think Cunha in that position.
He's done a lot of good stuff as well.
No, don't get me wrong. He has, but we don't have time to wait now. We don't have time for potential.
If the ethos you're referring to is on young players, then Amram's promoted and given chances to young players. I don't see that suddenly changing going forward. In terms of the wing play and stuff that we remember, that's a done thing. I would love to see that again, but I don't know if we would.
If it's me, I'm looking at Ahmad and Garnacho. They've got to be the wingers. That they've got to be the guys that we start and the guys that we nurture.
Me personally, I prefer a back four in it. Like I'm a dinosaur. I like a standard 4-2-3-1, but that's not what we're doing at the moment. So you have to best adapt and give the manager what he wants, I guess. In terms of Garnacho, I will say I think he's got the attitude and ego of Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's got the talent of Adnan Januzaj.
I think he's got potential. He needs to improve, but I think I don't think we should sell him because
I personally, I wouldn't like us to get into a habit of selling academy products.
Yep.
But if it's once in a while and it's with a proper sense of direction, I'm willing to give it a chance. I think if you were to sell him and Kobe, I think then questions have to be asked.
Right, and that was my next question.
We let Alanga go, didn't we? And
but look, Alanga's just fast, brother.
Yeah,
he's a system player, so he's not. Alanga's not that guy in it.
No, he's not. He's not great.
If Kobe goes in this window, Garnacho goes, and Bruno go. Bruno not a system player. Kobe supposedly not a system player. And Garnacho, whatever reason's gonna go. That is what 250 mil, nearly 300 mil, right?
Mm.
That rebuilds the whole. That build rebuilds the whole squad.
Yeah, you're saying that, but someone like me doesn't have faith in the manager and doesn't believe that the manager can be successful with that formation in Premier League. I think the only guy that was successful was Antonio Conte at Chelsea. He had the players to play that system, and he had experienced success with that system in Juventus as well. But I just don't think it's going to work now with the players.
All right. Can Dorgu play left back?
Yeah, and I think he's a guy that left back in the back four as well as a wing back.
Yeah.
In the back four.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He's quite versatile, Dorgu. I don't think he's good enough to start anywhere, but for me, he's a rotational option.
Do you have anybody in the squad who could play at right back? Because I know you want to go to a back four.
Dallo.
Dallo to do what?
But I mean, this isn't going to happen, though, guys.
And as I said, I want us to stick
current formation.
I want us to stick to it.
Left back. I don't know.
I want us to stick to it. Buy some Premier League proven players, not these fancy.
I tell you what, whilst they're doing the Cunha deal, I loved it if they inquired about Out Nouri.
I reckon he's going to go. Well, I heard he was going Liverpool, but it sounds like they're going to go and
Kirkes, in it for them.
Yeah,
that's another player I would have happily taken.
I don't think they're worried about left foot. I don't think they're worried about wing back. I think Dorgu.
That concerns me though, Mr. B, because in this formation, the wing backs are very, very important.
Yeah,
I get it. But
and I'll tell you what, keep an eye on the final tomorrow, guys, because Inter Milan play a similar way, and you'll see how much the emphasis is on the wing backs.
Yeah, but have you seen their wing back, the Dutch guy,
Dumfries?
Yeah.
He had like 5 goal contributions in the semi-final against Barca.
Perfect as a wing back, and same with the guy who's just gone Liverpool now, Frimpong.
Kirkes and Frimpong, yeah.
I don't know if he's playing.
Yeah, but no, play wing back. They're going to be playing as a back four. So
he's perfect as a wing back. He might be a bit like Trent, where he's defending in the back four. He might not be as good.
Leverkusen have used Frimpong quite far forward as well. He's slotted in as the right. as the right 10. When he switched it up to 4-2-3-1 in the Champions League, he's played on the right wing, so he covers everywhere down that right hand side. Frimpong.
You see, for England, Trent doesn't play that much because he's not trusted in the back four.
But you see, you're talking about perfect wing backs for these systems.
Yes.
And you're saying you don't trust Amrin because of the system, but we don't have the perfect players for that system.
So why you have to go out and buy them?
Why are we playing this system if we don't have the players?
Because he's the head coach. He sets everything in motion, and he goes, you guys have to learn my system. I am not going to bow down to the player power FC anymore, like you have done for Oli, like you've done to Jose, like you've done to Ten Hag, like you've done to Ragnick.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it. He's like, you play my way. And
you guys remember when Ragnick tried to do his 4-2-2 and then gave up on it and just went back to the usual.
They might as well have sat down.
Players won. And even Ten Hag, when Ten Hag came in, the players made him play this deep line because they wanted this and wanted that. So I'm glad they're changing, couldn't they, man? You're too soft, man. You're too soft.
Like, I get what Andrew's saying. Good head coaches adapt. Good football players adapt.
Yeah, we don't have good football players.
Well, they're playing for Man United.
It's a bit of give and take, isn't it? Like, I think obviously the recruitment has to improve.
I've just made that point about Alonso, right? He's come from Leverkusen, been successful using the formation. He's already said he knows that he's not going to be able to get away with that at Real Madrid, play that sort of formation. Look, Vinny Jr., where's he going to play? People players like Rodrigo and Vinny Jr.
So now he goes into Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he physically cannot coach 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. What happens to him? So he sacrificed his own philosophies to go get sacked in 3 months.
Listen, he's already said. That's what I'm saying. He said
actions speak louder than words, but it's all well and good him saying he's going to.
No. But what I'm saying to you is that he looked at the players that he had at Leverkusen and he said, for the players we've got, this is the best formation. This is going to be most effective. This is going to beat Bayern and all that.
Right. So you don't think he went in there with that formation as his favoured formation?
No,
you feel
you'll see that he's adaptable. I'm trying to think who else did it. Tuchel at Chelsea, right?
Yeah, that's the different. Yeah, but
listen,
this is his first job.
No, but what I'm trying to say that there's managers to adapt to the players that they've got. You play to your strengths, right? Tuchel at Chelsea, he won the Champions League playing 3-5-2. He beat Man City in the final. Said, I've got these players. They've got their strengths of playing 3-5-2 with the players that I have, right? When he finished Chelsea, he went to Bayern. Did he go to play 3-5-2? No. He played 4-3-3, right? And he won the league. So the managers, they adapt to the players that they've got. It doesn't mean because I've had success with this system, I'm going to stick with it every time. It doesn't work like that. You got to adapt to the players that you have.
Did Jose adapt?
To what, Man United?
Well, everybody has to adapt at Man United. It's just how he is. His system of play, how Jose played, he didn't change. He bought players to play to fit his system, right?
Yeah, and he hasn't always been successful doing that.
And some people are known for their brand. Like, if you're trying to save your club from relegation, there's certain profiles you go out and get for that, like a Sam Allardyce or a Tony Pulis or a Sean Dyche. So, we've obviously identified this guy as the man. They would have known that this is the formation he plays. So now we've got no reason but to back him.
Yeah, but this is what's wrong with Man United. Why have they chosen this guy as the man? What? Because he's a young manager who's won a couple of leagues.
Wasn't every other fan base losing their shit when we got Amory?
And also, if we go by that, Vincent Kompany got Burnley relegated and got the Bayern Munich job.
And Colin's rocking in his chair again.
Yeah. I've got friends, obviously, that support loads of different clubs. I've got an Arsenal friend and everything. They are hoping we sack Amorim. They are hoping because they know as soon as he gets cooking, it's going to be a different ball game and we're not going to be pushed over. And they are scared of Amorim starting to turn things around and getting his players in because they know what he can do.
Yeah,
and this has come from other fans that don't even support Man United, that want us to get relegated.
I can't see it because, and like I said, even if he does end up being successful, it's not going to be good to watch. It's not going to be exciting to watch.
But you can't say that though until he's got his players in, and we've seen his system with his players at Old Trafford.
Would you rather see exciting football and we lose?
And it's a step-by-step process, isn't it? Like, were you excited about the football when Jose came in?
No, I did want Jose here.
Who have you ever wanted? What coach have you ever wanted?
I did want
Moyes.
Ten Hag at the time when they were. It was a toss-up between Ten Hag and Poch, and I was kind of like either 50-50. I was more Poch, but I was like, I like what Ten Hag did at Ajax. I like the players that he brought through for the system. I like the way they played. They had success in the Champions League. They went far for a club that didn't spend a lot of money. So I was thinking, yeah, he would be decent. That was the only one. Oli at the time, on merit, on the form that he had, he deserved to get the job at the time.
So you're not happy with any signing that manager?
I didn't want Moyes. I didn't want Mourinho.
See, so this is normal for you then, not to want the manager. No,
Van Gaal, I liked him at Ajax like back in the day, but his football now it just didn't evolve. It's just too boring. So the only one guy that
no pleasing you.
The only guy that I wanted was Poch and Ten Hag at the time. I didn't mind him.
Look, next season, yeah, I'll take really boring.
So
football.
Poch, you were never going to get, and Ten Hag out of the last 7. Yeah, we're not getting it. That's your opinion is not going to change on him. Then you're going to stick with his same boring football. Would you rather we play this exciting brand of football like Tottenham did in the beginning and keep getting our arse bus every week?
Yeah, but we're getting our arse bus every week and we're playing.
No, but yeah, but because he doesn't have the play. He's bought one player. He's bought one player for the system. He's bought one player for the system that he wants to play. And he's getting lambasted for it.
What positive things can you say about him since he's been in charge? Like the way that we played in certain games.
There's been games in which you can see what he's trying to do, but he's not helped by the fact that there's nobody up front. And when you've got a guy in goal who can make a mistake in an instant and just change the whole dynamic of a game.
The 2 killer positions, the 2 most... Yeah, you play football, Kohunde. You coach a football team. You understand? When you've got those 2 positions who are the worst, I've played in teams where I've had a goalie who can't catch. Brother, do you know what it's like? You don't even want to pass the ball back to him. We've seen that with Onana in games where they don't want to pass the ball back to him. You understand? They're seeing -9 making runs. They're not going to pass to him because they know he's not going to do anything. 2 players moves us up 5 positions. If we had a decent striker, just a basic who can control the ball, chest it, lay it off, not be looking to make a man bum him. Right. You know what I mean? Just play the game properly, move into space, pick up the ball, pop the ball up. If we had a goalie who could catch and didn't make 65 mistakes for the whole season, do you think we would be in 15th? So I don't see it as a system thing. I see it as a player thing. Our defenders, Euro's a good defender. Maguire's had a good season. Yeah. Heaven, when he's come in, has played well. Mazraoui's played well. These are all defenders. Midfielders, I agree. Agate, I don't know where he plays in this. Casemiro, European footballer, fine, granted. We're a central midfielder short because Bruno's had to chip in and play in there. We've had Ahmad come back. He's been injured half of the season. Yeah. Ahmad's not going to be playing as a number 10. Ahmad's going to be playing on that right wing, as a right wing back front. He's going to get 2 number 10. Why doesn't it make any sense? That's where he causes the most trouble.
Because, like you said, I have coached the team and I did play 3-5-2 with my team. It's not my favorite formation, but the only reason I played that system is because I didn't have a CDM. So I looked at the weaknesses in the team and I tried to think, all right, how can I eliminate these weaknesses? I have to play.
How did you do that season?
We won 2 cups. We won the under-16 cup and one under-18 cup.
But you didn't win the league.
No, we didn't win the league, but we won.
See, so you say about cups. They only win cups.
Hold on, we had success because of the formation. Now, the season after, I changed it because we got a good CDM and all that, and I had to change it. But what I'm saying to you is that the best managers, like I said, they adapt. Look, another example. Gareth Southgate, World Cup 2018. He played a 3-5-2. He knew he didn't have the players, right? And then he got to the semi-final, next tournament. you got to a final playing 4-3-3, right? So I'm saying a manager has to adapt. If something's not working, it just doesn't make any sense to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it again. I just want to see.
But if he adapt, okay. If he bends, the players win. You have to understand they've been winning for so long. All we talk about is player power this, player power that. They're moaning about training after 5 o'clock because they have to leave in the dark. These are professional footballers. When they go on international duty, they're not playing in the same formation that they play at the club. They're not making the same. They have to adapt. And this is my point. It's like the players at Man United don't want to adapt. So what you do? Get rid of the ones who can't adapt, and you buy players who can play in the system that Amri wants to play in.
The reason I said Ahmad, he's not. He might do a job there as a right wing back, but in a system like that, 3-5-2, the whole objective.
He's not 3-5-2. He plays 4. He doesn't play 3-5-2. If he played 3-5-2, he would. If he played 3-5-2, Kobe would get into that team. Right. If he played 3-5-2, Kobe would get into that team.
But what I'm saying, in a system like that with wing backs, the whole objective is for the wing back to be the guy that overlaps and kind of crosses down the line on that foot. That's the objective in that system. It just doesn't make sense. It's like you say, like square eggs, eggs in round holes. Like,
but I'm sure when Amrin first came in, when Ahmad was fit, he was playing that wing back role, and he was doing perfectly fine.
No, I'm not saying. Look, Ahmad is a performer. Ahmad will do. He's like Steven Gerrard. He'll play anywhere, he'll do a job. But what I'm saying is, that's not the right position. It's not the right philosophy for. It's not the right way to play for that formation. It doesn't make any sense to me. When I'm looking at the team, he's experimenting, because why is he starting Bruno further forwards as a 10, and then dropping him, and then doing this, and then Casemiro didn't want to know about, and then he's bringing him in. Now it's like Mount. I'm going to bring him in and try him here.
Yeah, but Mount was dead. Mount was injured. So the Mount part of the argument, I don't get. The Casemiro one, I do. I think he probably had an image of what Casemiro was. Yeah. And to be fair, he's only done good in the European games. In Premier League, he's still getting his ass passed, and man's still running past him. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think he probably found he can play him in European football, but that's more what I feel. It was more he realized, and Casemiro looks like a bubbly. He doesn't look like he dropped off. Last season he was fat. He's lifting up his belly now. He's got 6-pack, so he's done the work. He's actually put the work in that the players can see. They've got all of these stats, body weight stats, and all of that. Right. So there's things where you can see that he's made the effort to adapt or maybe step up his game, but he's not going to get any quicker at 33. He's not going to get any faster. He's still got another year on 350 grand a week, bro, or 300 grand a week. Now we're not in anything, So I would assume if they had the chance, they would get rid of him. Maybe not over Bruno, but there's so much players. I mean, okay, we've been rambling. Who would you keep in our squad of players? Guys in the chat as well. Brush Cole. Yeah. Who would you actually keep? I'm just gonna go get a Jack.
I just don't know. I'll be back in a second. I'm not going to say anything. I just don't know because.
Yes, you do. Come on, talk the talk. Come on.
No, because what I'm saying is I don't know what's going on in the guy's head about his formation, about the way that he's playing it. I don't get it. I don't get what he's doing. Like I said, to me, Dalot is perfect as a right wing back. Mazraoui, because they could get up and down. Putting Ahmad as a right wing back, it just doesn't make any sense to me. What is the role for him there in that position? I don't get his philosophy. That's what's bothering me about it. If he was like Xabi Alonso and he's putting a specialist for each position, like Xabi Alonso was doing at Leverkusen, Frimpong's a specialist and things like that, I might be able to say, okay, I can see where you're going with this. But with Amrin, it's like he's just trying things out. That's why I don't have any faith in him.
Yeah, he's trying things out because he hasn't got the specialists at the moment. This is what I'm saying.
And I thought that's what this season was about, him trying things out.
I think he does have the specialist, though. I think he does.
I don't see a specialist in this.
He's got the wing backs for it.
Right? And I think this is the reason I give him a bit of leeway this season, as atrocious as it's been, because I've looked on the bench at times and I'm like, what change do you make? Who do you bring on who I think could actually make a difference in this game?
All I want is for Amarin is to just at least try something different. I just don't like managers that are not adaptable.
He has been trying though. Like there was the time
No,
he
I'm saying
tried
try a
a
different
Manu in
formation.
the false nine. Like he's been trying things. It's not come
Try
off
a
obviously,
different
but he's been
formation.
trying.
Try a different formation. I don't like managers that are not adaptable. You can't just be stuck in your ways. Football is evolving all the time. You can't be stuck in a system. Why do you think Mourinho doesn't have a top level job now?
Mourinho has always been someone who's needed the creme de la creme to work with in order to achieve what he wants to achieve. If you give him unlimited funds, there's no doubt in my mind that he can still build you a team.
No, I don't think he can anymore because he doesn't. He's rubbing up players the wrong way. He hasn't got the man management.
He's always done that though, hasn't he?
No. But what I'm saying is, Mourinho.
It's a sensitive generation now.
Listen. Mourinho, like I said, football's always evolving. Mourinho can't get top level job no more because he hasn't evolved with the times. You have to be adaptable as a manager and evolve. Like Mourinho's football is outdated. It's not going to work anymore, and he hasn't evolved with that. So that's why he's at Fenerbahce, even though he's won the Champions League with Porto and Inter, and he's won Premier Leagues, 3 Premier Leagues or whatever it is. So you have to be adaptable as a manager. You can't say this is the way I'm playing. You can't be like that in football. You have to be more open-minded. Can't hear you, Mr. B.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, man. Sorry. You're sucking Amarin before the season starts, right?
Yes. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I tell you, when we start winning proper games and start playing some exciting football, sure. I want to see.
I bet my life it's not gonna work.
Look, we'll see. Obviously we've spoken, Bruno. Chido, he scored 2 today. Is there anything positive? I know it's the last game of the season. Did anybody see the finishes? The goals? Yeah. I think the proper strikers' goals, especially the first one. I think there's a player in there. I just wish we had maybe seen more of him this season. I understand why we didn't, because you don't really want to bring kids into the trash that was there. But do you see him getting a lot more game time next season? Do you think he's going to go out on loan? Or was today's game irrelevant? Yeah, I get that, but I'm more talking about for the player himself. And is there anything that maybe he can bring into next season moving forward?
It will certainly give him some confidence, Mr. B. But I mean, we need to really see how the window goes. Somebody like Chido probably needs a loan, if we're being honest.
You would loan him out?
Yeah, depending on how the window goes. I think I don't think he's ready for that step up. I think we'd be throwing him into the deep end. It would be more of a case of, well, we can't get much worse than Rasmus, kind of, opposed to him really being the guy to step up,
I'm talking about second choice. We definitely need a striker, but I'm just thinking in my head, -9 is gone.
Even to be the second choice, like you're going to get a fair few games during the course of the season, and I'm not sure if he's quite up to that just yet. I think he could benefit from a loan.
Andrew thinks he's 12 months away.
Yeah, I think a season in probably either bottom end at Prem or Championship. I mean, the Championship's a tough league anyway. That does toughen players up.
The physicality of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Chido's goals today, and he's done more in this one game than what Rasmus has done for the last 6 months.
And I'm sure you guys will have seen on the timeline as well, even if you didn't catch the game today, the touch from Rasmus that's going viral.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know.
Poor guy can't catch a break. He's someone, honestly, like I told you the last time I was on here, Mr. B, I think he's better than what we've seen. But he's a player who's completely devoid of any kind of confidence.
Yeah.
And he needs a move. Either on loan or permanently. I think he just needs a change of scenery and a different league, if I'm being honest.
Go back to Italy.
Yeah.
Listen, look what Alone's done for Anthony, man. Anthony's killing it out there. They love him.
But I don't think we can loan out Rasmus, with how much we've paid for him, I
Yeah,
don't think we can loan him out. If he's going, he has to go. It's as simple as that.
yeah, because of everything that that we require, that would make a lot of sense. But at the same time, if you look at the Anthony thing, it was our way of putting him on the shop window, and I think his stock has risen in that Betis loan. So perhaps there could be a scenario in which that happens with Rasmus if we send him back to Serie A.
Maybe. But,
No, I think it's that's not saying some certain players are better suited for a certain style of football. Like Spain is more open game where you'll get chances. Like,
Yeah, the weather, the language, he's acclimatized is
yeah,
different.
yeah. Like Matic is good for the Italian game because it's slower and all that. So yeah, certain players thrive in certain leagues.
like, hear me out here, right? This is a wild one. Somebody said something about who would we get as a striker, because obviously Jokeres and everybody. This is going back a bit. What about, and like I said, hear me out here, Strand Larsen. He's got Premiership experience. He's 25 years old.
Strand Larsen from Wolves.
Well, he's thingy player, isn't he? He's on loan to Wolves. He's
From-
Celta Vigo.
Oh, I don't know. He wasn't
14
somebody
goals.
who ever-
14
Yeah, but
goals. How many has Rasmus got? It's still an upgrade. And I'm thinking, with the budget, we've got no European football. With the budget, with very limited budget that we might have.
No, I hear it, Cole. I hear it, because sometimes it has to be not just the sexy names. You've got to think of ones who can actually come in and make a difference.
Yeah. And he knows how to play with Cunha as well.
How much would he cost?
I would prefer the guy at Brighton. The young Irish guy.
I think
who? The one who never didn't play
Ferguson.
all season?
What's his name? That Irish
João
guy?
Pedro.
Evan
Ferguson.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's going to be
Evan
60 million plus. He's going to be 60
Jesus.
million plus.
I think he's got something about him. I like him.
What, to play the system that we're playing in, though, right?
I think he's playing any system because he does the fundamentals well that a striker should do. He's strong, he's tall, he holds up the ball well. He's complete forward.
Right, is this what we're going to now? He's got the basic fundamentals. He didn't get a game for West Ham.
For Brighton.
He went out on loan to West Ham and didn't get a game.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that I think potentially he could be very good, and that's what I'm saying. He's more of a guy that I'll get instead of someone like
Strand Larsen.
Strand Larsen is about 25 million.
Do you reckon Wolves ain't sending us no play for 25?
No, he's not at Wolves. He's not at Wolves.
Oh,
He was on loan
you
to Wolves.
said he was Celta Vigo, innit?
Yeah, it's Celta Vigo.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to be whatever they do. I think this summer they're gonna have to be very, very cute with.
They're going to have to be shrewd in the market.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely going to be one or two names, I think, are not what we're expecting. But as long as they come in and they fit the system, I'm happy.
I don't mind that. I actually don't mind players that I don't know. I just want them to be able to play in Ruben's system.
Yeah.
Kohunde, Ruben's system.
Yeah, and listen, I understand some of his concerns, but I just think it's far too early, man. Like, if we're in a similar situation this time next year, then fair enough. I can understand it. But at this moment in time, I think it's insane, especially when we've missed out on Europe. Money's tight. What sense does it make to sack another manager and his entire team whilst we're still paying the old guy? Just to go and get someone else in who's going to revert back to what we were doing before? Then what was this sacrifice about?
But the other thing is as well, like, let's say the board decide, that's it, Amrin, we're done with you. Who are we getting to replace him?
And this is an interesting talking point as well, guys. With this direction we're moving in, do we recruit for this system? And also with this system in mind going forward, even if you sack Amram, does that mean you bring in another coach that plays with wing backs?
I was asking about the player profiles because, maybe they're going to buy players. Cunha can play as a single.
So this is why I think the philosophy and all of that, it comes from top down, mate. So it's up to them what they set out.
Yeah, but then if they buy the hybrid players and maybe there's not the players, maybe Amrin realizes that he doesn't have the backing. I know he's already said he will walk, without getting paid. Oh, that's very chivalrous of you, but that's not going to happen. know what I mean? That's not going to happen. There's no chance that happens. No manager's ever walked away, apart from Kevin Keegan, that I know, and not get paid. You know what I mean? So I think it's all talk. I think he knows he's got the backing. I think he's putting that out there because he knows 100% that he's got the backing of the club.
He'll be gone by December. Maybe
Okay. Well, as I said, I want to see January the 1st with you know, apologizing to me in bath time. Yeah.
Because if he's gone in December, like, I'll defend him a little bit here. If he's gone in December, then he deserves to have been sacked in December.
Because he has a transfer window. Yeah.
Right.
And
even if he has a good transfer window, though,
even if he has a good
it takes time for things to gel, right? So if we get a whole load of players in, I'm still going to give him time next season.
We're not seeing the potential. We need in this transfer window. We need to see, even if we're losing games.
Yeah, but what we mustn't do at the end of the window is be like, all right, I want to see how you does in the first 10 games, and if he doesn't get like 6-7 wins, then it's over. You know, it can still take time.
Man. Yeah.
Look at Crystal Palace this season under Glasner, and where he finished, how strongly he finished, opposed to the first 10 games of the season.
I mean, that's a weird one. I don't like when people make that comparison because he plays the same system that
and he did, and he won the FA Cup playing that
system. And they adapted. So his team, like they adapted to it a lot quicker. But then saying that, Wharton's better than any central midfielder we've got.
Yeah,
Eze's probably better than any 10 we've got.
Yeah,
and Mateta's definitely better than the striker that we've got. So he had better tools to work with. And this is my point. He needs an upgrade on the tools that
Munoz as well, at right wing back. He's been quality this season.
Oh, he's been frightening. Yeah, he's been frightening. You know, so that's my point. That's my point, Kunde. Until he has, you know, maybe 6 or 7 players out of the 11 who can play in the system that he wants. And to be fair, it's not going to be defensive. I see it being the central, the wing back, and the forward options. If he gets the profile right, I think we're going to be fine. Just say we think we're going to be fine. Anything has to be better. We cannot possibly be worse than who's coming up? Burnley,
Leeds,
and
Sunderland.
And Sunderland. Yeah. Right. No disrespect to Sunderland and Burnley.
So what would be a realistic expectation for him in next season? For
top 10.
Top 10.
See, to
top
me,
half at table,
it has to be top 10. I want to see goals. I don't want to see no minus goal difference.
Cup run, at least.
Well, we have to be because we're not in anything else. He can't afford. Sorry, he can't afford to give up. He can't afford to sacrifice the Coca-Cola Cup for anything. He's going to have to go strong. Oh, no, also it doesn't leave my head. You know, he has to go strong.
Yeah.
You know, so here he's probably going to trim the squad. That's what he's talking about, trimming the squad. I have no idea how he trims the squad. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we probably still need 7 first teamers. You know, so I think it makes it difficult. But look, the season's finished. And the transfer wasn't even opened, and we're losing our mind. Normally, you know, we lose our mind in August when we haven't bought anybody. Couldn't this come in before the deadline? You know, maybe they will kind of change it, maybe, and back the boy and get these players in for pre-season. My issue is if they don't get them in before pre-season, and they're bringing them in August, you know, 2 days before the transfer window closes. We'd have had no time. They've been sitting on their backside, coming in fat like Xerxes did. You know what I mean? Didn't have a pre-season like Xerxes didn't. You know, didn't have a pre-season like Amorim didn't last season to lay down his philosophy and see who he has to see. So, you know, I understand why you're digging him out, but I'm with Brush and Colm. I think
time will tell.
A proper pre-season is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Also, guys, while we're on the subject, this past week as well has just been absolute shambles. I understand the need for money and to generate funds, but it's an absolute circus, isn't it? Let's be honest. At the end of the season, the players should be just breaking up and going on their holidays. Who wants to play these games this week and travel the globe?
Ridiculous. Playing teams like Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But I think the most embarrassing part of that is we had an open top bus parade.
Oh, mate. Listen, when that was trending on the timeline, initially I thought it was fake. I was hoping it was.
Oh,
You see about 3 guys outside waving at Xerxes. And the state of that bus as well.
And the poor cup final, we lost to Spurs.
And I'll tell you what, that is horrible as well, because obviously in the same week where they had the open top parade in Liverpool, you know, the comparisons. Also on that as well, thoughts obviously with all of the people that were affected by the nonsense that went on over there, man. I'm glad there was no fatalities.
Yeah, for real. Oh God, we're a mess. We're a mess. But you know what? At least we're a mess early, and they've got time to sort things out. As I said, it's not August. The transfer window isn't even open, and we've got Cunha coming in. We've got 2 weeks for them to do what they need to do. It will probably be Bruno going, to be fair. I don't trust them to get the players right that come in for him. But if you're going to be earning £65 million a year, let's not get it twisted. That's more than generational. That's, you know, your ancestors.
Listen, your whole bloodline is just different.
Ain't broke, you know. So I think the choice is with Bruno. The club would rather probably have the money, and I know Amarin would rather he stayed. But if that's the choice that Bruno makes, I don't think it's a club choice. I think if Bruno says he wants to go, he'll go. I don't think the club are going to say we're going to accept the money and you have to go. I have no idea what Saudi Arabia is to live in. I do know that a lot of players live in Bahrain because they're able to drink and do other things that maybe they can't do over there. So he might be able
for
to
these
go
big name
professionally,
signings, though, Mr. B, I think they'll make concessions. Like Ronaldo, technically speaking, isn't married to his missus, and usually over there that's not allowed. But you know.
I mean, look, he's a professional footballer. It's not like he's Rashford do like a little party every Friday or Saturday night. Or
and listen, man, these guys have got private jets and all sorts, so you know they can just leave for the weekend and come back.
I said, we'll see. I said, it's life changing, isn't it? You know, if it's going to happen, let it happen early, so that they can decide what they want to do. But look, we've been on here 1:12. I think that's more than long enough for a Friday night. Cole. Welcome back to the madness, my friend, and I hope you are going to be on here more regularly.
Yeah. Glad to be back. You're going to see me a lot more.
Good. Day. I know the last couple of Fridays, I've messaged you, but I know this one got your juices flowing overseas, so you dropped your plan, so that's appreciated as well, man. Appreciated, man.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Brush.
Always a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, man. As I said, I always try and get you on something that we can talk about, not something that just for the waffle, you know. But guys in the chat, I know it's late and I know it's a Friday, but I do appreciate the fact that you did turn up and watch. Welcome back, Lucky Singh. It's good to see you. The guy's name that I could not remember, Tali Daliso. I think that was your name. Big up, guys. And Rebel. Yeah, I know. It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back as well. But guys, look, we will be back probably Monday, to be fair, unless Bruno or the club do some sort of madness over the weekend, then we should be back on Monday. So it's a lack of notch from me. That's good. I tell you what, they don't know the deal. Lack of notches.
Lack of notch.
Yeah.
Lack of notch, yeah.
There you go. One more. We need you to say like a notch, Cobb, and then we can go.
Like a notch, yeah.
Like a notch.
Yeah. Cheers.